In this video, I'm going to go over the operations department structure that helps you scale from 1 to 10 million without adding tons of chaos. I'm Eric Horwitz. I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur. I'm a business consultant. I've scaled my own company teaching cooking classes to children in the United States all the way to 8 figures, and there are so many key things that I've learned that will help you in your business. So here is the key framework. The first part is to understand that there are 5 key departments to operations, okay? They are accounts, clerical, recruiting, onboarding, and teacher support. Now this is around the service business. The service business is a different type of beast from e-commerce or products. Let's go over each one into a bit more detail, and this is exactly what I'm doing right now with my own company. Accounts. The account department is the part that focuses on client support. You want to make sure your clients are happy. The people that are in the accounts department are going to be very customer friendly, very focused on solutions, and you want these to be like your big smiley people. We have a really amazing account team, and literally our clients, we send them reports ranking them on a scale from 0 to 10, and we're almost always getting strong 8s and 9s. In fact, the comments they say are things like, hey, you know, Alyssa is absolutely amazing, she's fantastic. Alyssa is an expat based in South America, but the point is, she gives such great customer support that the clients she works for rave about her. So in the accounts department, you have to have very good SOPs, a very good structure, and they are also the people that are going to be expert at apologies, at fixing things, at getting creative to make sure the client is happy. Next, you have clerical. Now, clerical is a fancy word for administrative elements of the business. When you have a large service-based business minus over 300 staff, you have a lot of clerical things that need to get done. These are things like payroll, data, logistics, scheduling. All of these difficult things, when you have hundreds of people, you need somebody sorting through the data and making sure things move. Reimbursements happen. Payroll happens, and it's all done accurately as well. You need a very good detail-oriented person at the top of this department. The next 3 departments, this is kind of only for those bigger businesses, are all based around your service. Remember, your service is a person doing a task. And there's 3 things that you have to think about. One is the recruiting process. You need a very good team, and we have about 3 or 4 remote admin whose whole job are just recruiting. We call them recruiting coordinators. Their job is to go on Indeed, find very good candidates, interview them once, interview them a second time with a different person, do a professional reference check on their background, and finally hire them. The next team is the onboarding team. Now they take those instructors, those teachers, and they go through an onboarding process that takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. There's SOPs to read, handbooks to read. There's mock cooking classes that they have to do on Zoom. There are classes they have to assist in person, and a sequence of events to make sure that all the teachers are fully onboarded. Next, it's the teacher support. So now the teachers are trained and they are out the door doing what they do best, which is teaching. Now for this teacher support, the key things will be things like evaluating in person the teachers. You have to have your instructors, your service people do their tasks, but never fully autonomously, because you need to make sure they check in. You need to make sure a supervisor comes in and makes sure that they're doing a good job. So those are the 5 keys to operations that you have to have dialed in with good managers. Accounts, clerical, recruiting, onboarding, and that teacher support or evaluation element to your company. Next, you have to understand that your company, everything breaks at different revenues start, different revenue elements, like 1 million, 3 million, 5 or 6 million, and then 8, 9, and 10 million. And actually, as we're ascending past, we're even seeing more breaking points. You've got to get used to the change. You've got to get used to disruption. That is a key part of running a service business or any business that scales. What got you here will not get you there. So just expect that every 2 to 3 million jumps in revenue, all of your operations break. A personal example would be, we used a ton of Google Sheets to track our scheduling and our logistics for our clients. Then we realized it doesn't work when you have hundreds of instructors. So we had to build our own software to combat this. And now we have to update the software again and again and again to make it better and better. So don't get compliant, get ready to grow. Next, it's what I call the decision pipeline. So a lot of CEOs have this problem where they are in the loop for everything. They are in the loop for every decision making. But guess what? You don't want that, especially as you grow. You can't be the person who verifies and checks every single thing. What you're gonna need are weekly meetings and a daily huddle. The weekly meetings are about 90 minutes for every department. Eventually you have the managers do their own meetings, but you can check in a little bit. The beauty of a weekly meeting is this is when every team member has a place to come in with their issues. So things build up, and then boom, we flush it and clean it all out in the weekly meeting. There's a very specific structure to that. If there's an emergency, of course you have to let their manager know, but guess what? Nobody's bugging you on Thursday, on Friday, because they're like, you know what, actually, this is a perfect thing for that meeting on Monday. And it allows them to shine. They come to the meeting with something to share, discuss, and problem solve. Next, you need what's called the daily huddle. So this is like a little mini micro meeting. And I know this seems counterintuitive, but you want a short daily huddle for every department and even the whole company. This is about a 10-minute meeting, usually on Zoom or on the phone, where you say, what's your priority for the day? What's a challenge that you're facing? And what's news to share from yesterday? This allows the department supervisors to hear what's happening with their team without a formal check-in. At the end of the meeting, we ask the question, does anyone need to stay on the call? And if they say yes, they say, hey, I got to talk to Susie, I got to talk to George, I have to talk to Jared. They can hop on a separate call and problem solve. So every team member has a daily huddle element that they can talk to the people, and a weekly. And guess what? When you have these meetings, the 90-minute meeting and the short 10-minute meeting, people don't bug you during the rest of the day and you can get work done. Next, this is my favorite test, it's the vacation test. So now that you're scaling your company, you, the CEO, need to step away and see what breaks. The first step is, I recommend at least 7 days. I mean, you can go 3 days or 4 days, but 7 days, no contact, no check-in, no Slack, no email, nothing. This is important because it allows you to see what breaks as you leave, because things will break and you have to give your managers some autonomy so they can do things. But I've tested this where I don't even need to bring a laptop on vacation. I don't do any check-ins. I can if I want to, but I really don't. And I recommend first 3 or 4 days, no check-in, like a long weekend plus 2 bonus days. Then do a week, and then do 2 weeks. 2 weeks, travel to Europe, go to Dubai. I don't care, just go somewhere and don't do anything. And then if you really want to push it to the upper limit, and I've done this and it's awesome, is a full month. That's the vacation test. Next, a key element is the internal team has capacity and you have to keep growing it. So as you're scaling 1, 3, 6, 10 million, your internal team has to grow. I'm sorry, but your margins shouldn't shrink that much because your revenue grows. And when your revenue grows, your margins should stay pretty locked in, your net profit, but also your operational expenses. You have now more money to spend. But I don't recommend spending your cash on expensive in-person staff like I did in the US back in the day. I hire remote staff that are all over the world, and you can get, full-time worker for like $2,500 a month, maybe a mid-manager for $5K a month, dollars, and a high-level manager for 6, 7, or 8K. And this is their salary plus bonuses all inclusive. So maybe their base is 4K and then 1K in incentives. The point is, it's really not that much because you're scaling by the millions. You're scaling so high that your spending on the internal team gives you more of a budget to grow bigger. So those are my tips. If you need help with this type of thing, I can help you. I offer one-on-one coaching. Just book a call with me. I got tons of options, whether in the United States or Dubai. I live in Dubai, and I'm just American based abroad. But go book that call. My goal is to save all of my clients 20 hours a week in just the first 90 days of working with me. Go to winwinwitheric.com.